and welcome back to the Off the Crossbar channel with myself, Regan Walsh, and welcome to our weekend preview where we'll be looking at all the games this weekend that we have on offer for us, mainly here in England in the Premier League. And obviously it is new manager weekend as we come off the international break, with three managers set to make their managerial debut this coming weekend. Obviously we'll start off at Aston Villa. Obviously during the international break they appointed Steven Gerrard as their manager, replacing Dean Smith at the helm at Villa Park, and Gerrard's first game in charge will be at Villa Park as they host Brighton and Hove Albion, the surprise team of the Premier League this season. So it's not an easy task for Steven Gerrard's side as he looks to build up the confidence and get this Villa squad moving up the table, but obviously he will now have until March to get this squad playing as much possible and better as possible without having to worry about an international break, which is perfect for him and any new manager as we get set to head into the busy period in about a month's time. So that is one benefit for Steven Gerrard. Like I said, not the easiest of games first up for him against an informed Brighton who sit in 7th place in the table, and it's going to be a really tough task for them, but I'm excited to see what Gerrard can bring to this Villa team and how far he can move them up the table in the right direction for many Villa fans. The other new manager who will be taking the helm for the first time this weekend is of course Dean Smith, who has been appointed the new Norwich City manager. Now that came as a bit of a surprise to many. There was a lot of rumours that Frank Lampard was going to become the manager of that Norwich team, and however it emerged that Dean Smith had won the job and has now taken over. So his first game in charge again on Saturday afternoon will be at home to Southampton, which coincidentally was his last game in charge of Aston Villa against Ralph Hasenhüttl's Southampton. So it'd be very interesting to see if he can get the better of Southampton this time out, because if you remember before the international break they lost 1-0, which ultimately cost him his job at Villa Park. So can Dean Smith get this Norwich team moving up off the bottom of the table, and how far, if he can get them at all, moving up? Obviously they are level on points with Newcastle United, who also have the new manager at their helm, and that is of course Eddie Howe, who has came in to finally replace Steve Bruce, and obviously what Graham Jones was doing for them 2 to 3 games after Bruce's second. And they are also at home. They play a Brentford side who, despite their positive start to the season, have had a bit of a rocky road recently. Not the best of results, losing their last 4 games, the 2 big ones more recently, shocking ones against Norwich and Burnley. So Thomas Frank's side will be hoping that they can get on the right side of things there and see what they can do going forward. Can Brentford move themselves up the table? And it'll be interesting to see how Eddie Howe does get on at St James's Park, with obviously the abundance of cash that he'll have available in January, and how far can he take them up the table. So 3 managers coming in November, all 3 teams in and around the relegation zone. Can all 3 of them get their clubs to survive? It'll be very interesting to see what happens, and then obviously when it comes to the January window, what spending they will do over the coming months. Right, a quick look elsewhere in the Premier League this weekend. We have the big game kicking off on Saturday afternoon as Leicester play Chelsea. 2 teams obviously looking for movement of the Chelsea having that near perfect start of the season, 26 points, top of the table, and it's always a big clash when these 2 sides meet, despite Leicester having a poor season where you see themselves down in 12th place. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really cracking game. Lukaku, Thomas Tuchel has said in his press conference, is unavailable for this game, but we don't know what changes these other teams will be making. Obviously with players coming back from the international break, but that is obviously one bit of bad news for Chelsea, is that they won't be without Lukaku just yet. Elsewhere in the Premier League this weekend, obviously we've mentioned some of the 3 o'clock kickoffs being Norwich, Newcastle and Aston Villa. But elsewhere we have Burnley versus Crystal Palace in what I don't think many are expecting to be that entertaining of a game. Claudio Ranieri's side Watford side host Manchester United in what really must be a must-win for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, I know there's always talk about pressure on his future, but he does have a good, tricky fixtures coming up for his side in the next 2 to 3 weeks of the Premier League season. So can they salvage something and start making it a positive note for themselves this season? And the final 3 o'clock game this weekend sees Wolves take on West Ham in what should be a very good game. West Ham up in 3rd place, Wolves in 8th. Two sides that like to play quite counter-attacking football this season, and I think it should be a very good viewing. And then the game to round us off this weekend is on Saturday is Liverpool versus Arsenal in what should be an absolute cracking game between the two sides. Arsenal unbeaten, I think now in their last 10 games, playing some excellent football and only 2 points behind Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool side. So this really is the must-watch clash of the weekend here in the Premier League. Elsewhere in the Premier League on Sunday, Manchester City play host to Everton in the early kick-off and Tottenham play Leeds United. Tottenham obviously will be hoping that they can get that all-important first win under Antonio Conte in the league, and obviously Leeds not having the season that they were last year, down in 15th, but never write off any of Marcelo Bielsa's sides. Right, a look around Europe, some tasty fixtures to look forward to this weekend, mainly over in Italy. On Saturday, Lazio playing Juventus, which should be a very good game. Fiorentina host AC Milan, and then on Sunday we have Inter Milan versus Napoli in what should be a very good game. Impressive fixtures over in France. Tonight sees AS Monaco play Lille in what will always be a good game between those two sides, and then on Sunday evening Lyon play Marseille in always a big clash there. Over in Germany tonight, Augsburg play host to Bayern Munich, and then on Saturday Borussia Dortmund play Stuttgart, Bayer Leverkusen play VfL Bochum, and Hoffenheim play host to RB Leipzig. And finally, over in Spain, Xavi Hernandez's first game in charge of Barcelona is a Barcelona derby as they play host to Espanyol on Saturday evening. Atletico Madrid play earlier on in the evening against Osasuna, and Granada play host to Real Madrid, whilst table toppers Real Sociedad play Valencia in what should be a very good game there over in Spain. Now we'll head over to the Predictions League as we usually do on the podcast. Now, although it's just myself here on this recording, I have actually got the predictions from Brad. So the games I've gone for in the Premier League are Leicester, Chelsea, Wolves, West Ham, and Liverpool versus Arsenal. So looking ahead to these fixtures, I'm going to go with a 2-0 Chelsea win in their game against Leicester. Brad has gone for a 2-1 victory there. Wolves West Ham, I'm going to go for 2-1, whilst Brad has gone for a 2-0 victory there. Liverpool Arsenal, I'm going to say Liverpool end Arsenal's run by winning 2-1, whilst Brad has gone for a 1-1 draw. And then the 3 European games that we have to look forward to this weekend are Monaco Lille, Inter Milan versus Napoli, and Lazio versus Juventus. Monaco Lille, I'm going to go with being a 1-1 draw between the two sides, whilst Brad has gone for a 2-0 Lille win. Inter Milan versus Napoli, I am going to go for Napoli to win 2-1, which is the same as what Brad has gone for. And finally, Lazio versus Juventus, I'm going to go for a 1-0 Juventus win, whilst Brad has gone for a 1-0 Lazio win. Brad is actually beating me by a couple of points as we head into this weekend's fixtures, so it'll be very interesting to see how we come out of there. Obviously, final bit of Premier League news that has came out this past week. It was announced on Thursday that the TV rights for America have been sold to NBC again, and obviously so big news for them. So they'll be having all 380 Premier League matches, and that deal is worth a reported £2 billion, which is a lot of money. And the final bit of news is that the Premier League announced on Wednesday that they will be donating some money to the lower leagues of English football to help them survive with a COVID payment, and all professional divisions from Championship down to League 2, as well as non-league football as well, to help them survive. So it is a good funding scheme that has been put in place by the Premier League to help out the EFL and National League clubs as they continue to recover from this COVID-19 pandemic. They have said they have committed a further 20 million for League 1 and 2 clubs in this season, with along with 5 million to National League and National League North and South clubs between now and 2025, to help as many teams survive as possible. And obviously with this funding and obviously this new TV deal, this should help many teams survive and hopefully get the threat of clubs going into liquidation like we had with Bury previously, and other clubs going into administration. That becomes a thing of the past. So let's hope that that is a good thing of to come in the future. Right, we will be back in our usual podcast form at the start of next week. Hopefully Brad makes a full recovery from his illness. It's not COVID related. So if not, obviously make sure you're back here on the channel, where I'll be wrapping up all the weekend's stories and results from around the world of football. And until then, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and follow us on Twitter @OfTCPod, so you never miss out on a video of ours. And until next time, we'll see you soon.